Hi, I'm Jason Inman, and I like to read comic books. That's why this week I'm going to tell you who I think are the top 5 writers of 2013. Who are the best wordsmiths in all of comic books out there right now? But before we get to all that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. Now, before I get to my list of the top 5 writers of 2013, I thought I would mention some writers who maybe could have been on the list, almost were on the list, but are more like honorable mentions. Brian Michael Bendis for revitalizing all new X-Men and Uncanny X-Men almost made it on my top 5 list. Jonathan Hickman for Infinity and his great independent comic East of West. Grant Morrison for Happy and concluding an amazing run on Batman and Batman Incorporated. Joe Hill for finally concluding Lock and Key. And Sterling Gates for Justice League of America Vi for making me care about a character that I have never liked before. Now, here is my number 5 for the best writers of 2013. Number 5, Scott Snyder. Now, you may be asking yourself right now, why is Scott Snyder so low on this best 5 writers of 2013? Well, let me tell you, there was some stiff competition. There were some amazing writers out there. That's why Scott, but that doesn't mean that his contribution to this year sucks. This doesn't mean that his contribution to this year is not any good or any value. He had an amazing year. One, he is still revitalizing Batman with lightning speed. He's doing some Zero Year right now, the revitalization of Batman's origin story with a fresh new perspective, with some special kudos to some amazing character work on Commissioner Gordon. I really like what he's doing with Gordon right now. And of course, he's got an amazing Vertigo series right now called The Wake, horror, everything like that. Scott Snyder has had an amazing year. He's still going strong on Batman. It's probably going to be remembered as one of the best Batman runs of all time. But he had some stiff competition this year. So let's get on to number 4. Number 4, Charles Soule. Charles Soule came out of nowhere this year. Well, he had been around for a couple years, but he came out of nowhere this year and hit a home run. Not only is he amazing with his excellent idea, excellent plotting, Letter 44. I don't know if you heard about this series, but it's from Oni Press, and it is one of those ideas. Every once in a while, there's an idea that comes out of there, and you're like, man, how did nobody else think of this brilliant idea? Let me tell you, Letter 44 is like The West Wing mixed with Star Trek. It is perfection. And here's this is why you know it's an amazing idea, because before it even got to the second issue, Hollywood has already greenlit it to make it into a movie or television series. Before the second issue even came out. That is unheard of, man. He also does some great runs on Thunderbolts. He's doing a great run on Red Lanterns, but his superhero work that I really want to point out is Superman, Wonder Woman. Now, Superman Wonder Woman could have been a very trivial book just to emphasize the relationship of Superman and Wonder Woman. But Charles Soule, I think he was writing, he was like, I'm not going to let that happen. I don't know why my impression of Charles Soule is a lumberjack, but from the way he writes characters and deals with them hard facts, I'm just going to say he's a hard-nosed writer. So he took Superman Wonder Woman and said, I'm not going to let it be a BS book. I'm going to make it about characters. And the whole book has been about amazing character moments between Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman even gets involved. And it is literally one of the strongest Superman titles out there. He writes a fantastic Superman. The reason why Charles Soule is number 4 and not so higher on this list is because, well, give him some time. He just got Marvel's Inhuman. I think he's going to be. Charles Soule definitely probably will be number 1, maybe next year or the year after that. But for this year, he is a strong number 4 with strong character moments and strong ideas. Number 3, Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction this year had probably one of the most innovative and amazing runs with his superhero series, Hawkeye. Never before, I think, in comics had we seen such mundane tasks like a dog running up and down stairs or a man reprogramming his VCR become fascinating and layered with character moments and depth. His collaboration with David Aja, I think, is probably going to go down as one of the greatest artist-writer collaborations that we've ever seen, because you can't really tell in that book how much of it's the writer and how much of it's the artist. And it's brilliant. Who ever thought a book about Hawkeye, almost a second string, probably a second string Avenger, who is just kind of paying the bills, and that's all the book is, basically, him paying the bills and kind of, not POing, but pissing off the women that in his life, could be so fascinating. it's this out-of-the-box idea that Matt Fraction brings to Marvel superheroes that makes it one of Marvel's, if not the best Marvel title out there right now. And he brings that same kind of thinking to FF, which is the Fantastic Four sidebook, where it's this crazy lunacy with these kids and Scott Lang with Mike Allred. And then you wrap it all up with his independent run, Sex Criminals, which is one of the most, probably one of the smartest ideas for an independent book out there right now. One of Image's best books. And that is why Matt Fraction is number 3. Number 2, Dan Slott. There are very few writers who in 60 plus years of Spider-Man and in the Amazing Spider-Man title that can say that they have left a permanent and definite mark on the character of Peter Parker. And Dan Slott is one of these writers. He launched Superior Spider-Man, a book where Peter Parker is dead and Otto Octavius is roaming around in Peter Parker's body being the Superior Spider-Man. And you know what? It is the Superior Spider book. This book is so amazing. And just put on top of the fact that it ships twice a month, you cannot believe how lightning fast Dan Slott's plots, how fun they are, and how much action and story he pounds into 22 issues. Every issue is a roller coaster. Every issue you're just like, wow, I can't believe I just saw this. Every issue you're just like, I hope this never ends. I am loving Superior Spider-Man so much that, you know what? I like Peter Parker, but I don't know if I ever want Peter Parker to come back. This guy is writing, I think, the best Spider-Man book in probably the last 30 years. And if he keeps going on this pace, Dan Slott is probably going to be remembered as the greatest Spider-Man writer of all time, even better than Stan Lee himself. I know that's heresy, but if you're not reading Superior Spider-Man, you are robbing yourself from probably the greatest Spider-Man experience of all time. I cannot believe how much story he gets into 22 issues. It knocks my socks off. That is why Dan Slott is the second best writer of 2013. But who is number 1? Number 1, Jeff Lemire. This has definitely been the year of Jeff Lemire. Wait, that kind of rhymes, huh? The year of Jeff Lemire. Let's just call that. The video is now the year of Jeff Lemire. That's copyrighted, Jeff Lemire. You can't even take that. Well, now use it on Twitter. It's cool. I'll give you permission. This is why. Not only did Jeff Lemire end his amazing post-apocalyptic Vertigo series Sweet Tooth, not only did he relaunch Trillium, which he is painting and writing himself, but he also took over Justice League of America. He is still making Animal Man one of the strongest DC titles of the New 52, if not the strongest. And he also has started an action-packed and brilliant run on Green Arrow, revamping that title since it has been floundering since the New 52. There is nothing that Jeff Lemire cannot do. He can write the amazing action scenes of Trinity War. He can write the small and personal moments of Animal Man where he kills off Animal Man's son. Spoiler, sorry. And he can give you out-of-the-box ninja arrow action and Arrow. This guy is brilliant. This guy, mark my words, Jeff Lemire will be the top writer at DC, and that is why I want to see them give him a crack at Superman. I want to see Jeff Lemire's take on every DC character. That's how strong he is. He knows how to do these amazing action moments, but he also does these like really, really quirky, like small moments, and you just can't get enough. There are writers nowadays where they say that they write for the trade, and Jeff Lemire is not one of those writers, but you can definitely tell like he's writing for a trade. I'm totally ruining my point here, but you can definitely tell that he's got an arc in mind, but every issue is so full of a great character moment or a great action scene that you love every minute of it. Jeff Lemire has quickly become my must-buy guy. Like if Jeff Lemire writes it, I buy it. I'm there. Doesn't matter what it is, I'm there. And that's why this 2013 has definitely been his year. And those were my top 5 writers of 2013. As always, go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. Now, last week I did the best artists of 2013, a little companion video, and next week I'm going to do the best comic book series of 2013. So leave me a comment below, tell me what you thought about your list, tell me your top 5 writers. You think I'm right? You think I'm wrong? Let me know. Tell me what you think I should vote as the top 5 best comic books. Now that means series, not single issues or not trade paperbacks. I'm doing ongoing series, although I will count mini-series. Like Lock and Key can skip in there, so what? You may have heard some problems with my voice in this video. I just got over a really, really bad cold. I recently just lost my voice, so if you hear some of my screeching, I apologize. Thank you all for watching this video. Thank you all for watching last week's videos that climbed to the comic book review that climbed to the views the fastest. It did really well. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all. Please share with all your comic book friends. I love comic books so much that I want everyone to love comic books. And, you know, this is all a discussion to get you to read more comic books. That's what this is. I love reading comic books. You should love reading comic books. Let me help you read comic books. As always, I'm Jason Inman. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. Be seen, you.
The Eighth Doctor was a debonair man. He was played by the amazing Paul McGann. One movie's not enough, don't you know?
Hey everybody, it's our time again, our open wild vlog after the end screen. Again, thank you so much for watching. Again, apologies on my voice. What do you think of my list? Did you dig it? I had a really tough time coming up with this list. It was really tough. My number one, I was pretty solid on my number one from the beginning of the list, but you know, 2 through 4, I kept flip-flopping and fighting, you know, and then Mark Waid would hop on there, and you know, he had a great year. I completely forgot to mention him. I'm sorry. Apologies, Mark Waid. Apologies. Definitely an honorable mention for you. Daredevil's awesome. You know, Jonathan Hickman hop on the list, and then he'd hop off, and then Scott Snyder would hop on, hop off. It was a tough list. I even talked to a couple of my friends, and they said that Grant Morrison should have been on it because of Batman Inc. And, you know, but speaking and transitioning into Grant Morrison, since I like to always tell you what I'm reading currently, I just finished Lock and Key, brilliant series. If you've never read Lock and Key, you totally should. I just finished the first 10 issues of Hawkeye, brilliant. And then I bought this as my classic, the classic Grant Morrison JLA. This is the deluxe edition. This is the first 10 issues. This is brilliant. This is like, I guess on eBay, it's only like $20 if you buy it full price. I found it for like, you know, 15. It's really cool. Excuse me. Howard Porter, Grant Morrison. This is my JLA. This is to tell you, like, they announced this in Wizard Magazine, and I was so excited about this series. It was so awesome because, you know, Kyle Rayner is my Green Lantern, and I had no comic book shops around me where I grew up, so I immediately had to like mail in my money, and I got this mailed to me every issue. I have these like single issues like bent up, and because I was a little kid, and I just read them. So it's really cool to like get to reread this and go into the past and be like, oh man, yeah, JLA is so awesome. Like this will always be my JLA. So yeah. So if you've watched all the way to the end of here, you know, leave me a little comment below. Hashtag JLA. There you go. I'm going to make a little plea right here. I'm going to start, I've told you about the podcast. That's still ongoing. This weekend, I'm going to film the first episode of a new weekly series that will hopefully start January 1st. If not, then sometime during January. Weekly series that will have a guest on. You know, I'm going to try to have more interviews with comic book creators. I've been talking to a couple of them that I may get on the channel, have a little talksy and stuff like that. But really excited about the weekly series. It's a very conversational series. What day of the week do you think I should put it on? Please let me know. This always comes out on Fridays, so do you think it should be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays? How about Tuesdays or Mondays? I don't know. Very conversational about a beverage and conversation and pop culture, and just very chill. You know, like you get exposure to a new person every week, and yeah, I don't know. That's about it. Personal plea. The more you guys share this video, the more it helps me out. I had a really big, big for the comic book review videos, but it was really cool. Greg Capullo, the artist of Batman, saw the video from last week. It was very cool. He messaged me on Twitter about it. It was very awesome. Thank you to you, sir. Great fan. Also, Sean Murphy saw it and tweeted thank you for me, and that was great. I love that he saw it. And also Fiona Staples. So, you know, it was really great that the people that I admire and that I love their work, I like praising them. So, you know, hey. So the more you can subscribe, you can only subscribe once. The more you can share these videos, it really helps me. Like, I love making these videos. I would love if this was my full-time job. It's not my full-time job. My full-time job is making videos for another channel called Rut and Link. I do that for my full-time job. But this is like my hobby job. And I love comic books so much, I would love for it to be my full-time job. I do love my full-time job, but like I love comic books to be my full-time job, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, just a dream. And the more you watch, the more you comment, the more you like the videos, that helps me. And I appreciate all of you. And if you don't see this before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever. Go buy yourself this as a Christmas gift because it's awesome and I recommend it. This has the Jason seal of approval. See you later, crazy bees.